The state of Georgia passes sweeping election integrity reform, all as a plurality of California Latinos are coming out in support of Gavin Newsom's recall. In this video, we're going to take a look at the extraordinary election reforms just signed into law in Georgia, how those reforms are becoming a model for the restoration of election integrity throughout the nation, and why more Latinos than any other demographic group are supporting the removal of Gavin Newsom from the governor's mansion. You are not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Wonderful to be with you as always. We're here to give you each and every single day conservative hope in the midst of these turbulent and trying times, helping you to think better so you can feel better and provide for you a patriot path to freedom. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Also for you podcast fans, we've now reached over 2 million podcast downloads, so make sure to click on that link below and sign up for our various podcast platforms. We've also got links to our Rumble and Parler channels down below. We'd love for you to subscribe to them as well. Before we dive into things here, a new invention is coming to the market that's helping to relieve pain using nanotechnology. Okay, it's called Relax the Pain, and it uses nanotechnology patches to help relieve pain anywhere in your body within seconds. Plus, it's 100% drug-free, so we're talking no chemicals or medicine entering your body. It's amazing for the back, knees, shoulder nerves, muscle pain. You simply stick the patch on the source of the pain, and it could subside the pain or aches in under 60 seconds. It's pretty amazing stuff, and best of all, it's available now, right? It's not some product that we're going to have to wait decades for until it's released. You can get it today by simply clicking on the link below. And to make it even better, click on that link below today. You're going to get your patches at 50% off, but this is a limited time offer, so do not wait. Click on that link below or go to relaxthepain.com and get 50% off today. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. Governor Brian Kemp of Georgia, to his credit, has signed into law sweeping election reform measures designed to prevent another November 3rd from ever happening again. The Hill is reporting the legislation Senate Bill 202 passed along party lines in Georgia's General Assembly with votes of 100 to 75 in the House and 34 to 20 in the Senate. The Heritage Foundation's sister site, Heritage Action for America, lauded the election reform, saying that it was a model for other states to follow. Heritage actually originally launched an effort to strengthen Georgia's election laws and restore voter confidence in the state. Not only did Heritage mobilize 20,000 activists to help them contact their legislatures and advocate for election integrity legislation, they did a $600,000 TV ad buy, as well as an entire digital marketing campaign, all to encourage legislation designed to promote and secure election integrity. And the result of such efforts is this bill, which has now been signed into law by Governor Kemp, who I'm sure, is trying to rehabilitate his image after his disastrous performance in the days following the November election. Among the reforms that were just passed and signed into law, you have protecting absentee voting by requiring voter ID, not automatically sending request forms or ballots to all registered voters, printing ballots on security papers so they can be authenticated, prohibiting ballot trafficking by political operatives, and strengthening supervision of absentee ballot drop boxes. In addition, you have promoting the integrity of the election process by prohibiting private funding of election officials and government agencies. You have increasing the accuracy of voter registration lists and increasing transparency by allowing election observers complete access to the election process and requiring the ballot counting to continue without pause until all votes have been tabulated. So clearly some very significant and sweeping legislation. And the Heritage Foundation is holding it up as a model for other states in their effort at securing election integrity. By the way, just parenthetically, a huge shout out to Heritage, okay? I don't know if you know this. Heritage turned down 6-figure donations from big tech oligarchs. Did you see this? The Heritage Foundation rejected $225,000 donation from Google, and they returned a $150,000 donation from Facebook. Now, God bless them for that. You see, Heritage is in the midst of putting together policy papers on big tech, which are, the policy papers are moving in the direction of proposals to break up the oligarchies, as it were, right? The big tech monopolies. And the last thing they want to do is get caught up in some conflict of interest situation with big tech, stroking them some pretty awesome checks. So kudos to Heritage Foundation for not only pushing election integrity, but practicing funding integrity on their own. So Heritage is advocating that Georgia law is a model for other states who are pursuing their own form of election integrity legislation. Now, that, of course, is not how the left-wing activists disguised as journalists in the mainstream media are reporting on it. USA Today calls it in their headline a, quote, voting restriction bill. NBC led with the headline, Georgia governor signs sweeping election regulations into law. There are even restrictions on snacks. Those evil Republicans, they won't even let poll workers eat. But the most shameless has to be CNN. Not only did they have the headline, Georgia Republicans speed sweeping elections bill restricting voting access into law, but that headline was under a banner, an actual freaking banner on their website saying, voting rights under attack. That, my friend, is what's called a Democrat super PAC. That's not an example of journalistic media. That is pure partisan far-left cultural Marxist propaganda. Here's what I found particularly interesting. It looks like consumer politics are entering into all this. Check this out. Coca-Cola facing boycott in Georgia for not denouncing GOP-backed election bill. Now, did you catch that? Coca-Cola! They're facing a boycott from social justice war. Coca-Cola earned the name Woca-Cola when it was revealed that they were urging their employees to be, quote, less white as part of their in-house diversity training. This just happened a month ago. Think about how betrayed Woca-Cola must feel right now. You have a major corporation incorporating radical critical race theory into their diversity training, and the very woke movement they so openly embrace is now turning against them simply because they refuse to denounce. Mind you, it's not that they openly supported the legislation. Woca-Cola was guilty of failing to openly denounce the legislation, and that's why so many are organizing a boycott against an otherwise faithful minion of cultural Marxism, because after all, silence is compliance. But alas, the bad news for the mainstream media that have become PR agents for the far left is that what's happening in Georgia is actually happening across the nation. According to the left-wing Brennan Center for Justice, there are currently 253 bills being considered in 43 states aimed at restoring election integrity by implementing many of the reforms in the new Georgia law. And we can reasonably predict that with the passage of that Georgia bill, these states are only going to be more emboldened, which is very, very good news for the midterms in 2022. But this stands in stark contrast to the political fortunes of one Governor Gavin Newsom in California. The latest poll out regarding his pending recall vote is guaranteed to have Newsom quivering in his boots. Now, before we get into that, if you are looking for an encouraging and hopeful alternative to all the fake news nonsense that's being spewed out there on a daily basis from the leftist likes of CNN and MSNBC and the Washington Post and so on, you're going to find no better antidote than what's in the pages of my book, The Return of Christendom. Now, gang, don't take my word for it, but darn it, you really should. But you can read through yourself the reviews on Amazon. Over 260 of them. You'll see how this book cuts through all the cynicism and despair that we so often feel living in this crazy globalist world. In page after page, I give you all the data, the stats, the indicators that show nothing less than a new conservative Christian majority emerging, not just throughout the United States, but Europe as well. And it's already transforming the world map into a more nationalist, populist, and traditionalist world. And if you click on that link below today, we're offering it for a very limited time at a 50% discount. That's right, you get half off, so don't wait. It is a limited time offer. Click on that link, get your book at a super discount today. Get one for your grandparents, for your kids, and arm yourself with the information you need to crush fake news once and for all. All right, gang, I'm sure you all know there's a recall effort underway to get rid of the ultra-leftist California Governor Gavin Newsom. But there's a new development in the whole recall saga, and it seems to be part of a much larger trend. A new poll finds that Latinos in California are more likely to vote to recall Gavin Newsom than white, Asian, and black voters. It's very interesting. The Probolsky research poll just released found that 44.5% of Latino voters said that they would vote to remove Newsom from office. 41% so they would vote not to, and about 14% remain undecided. So a clear plurality of Latinos are ready to vote Newsom out of office. Overall, 49% of white voters, 49% of Asians, 72% of black voters said they plan on voting no on the recall. And at this point, a slight majority, 52.5% of California voters surveyed, said that they would vote no as well. And so while the polls show Newsom ahead in the recall vote, that can change with this noticeable shift towards favoring recall among Latino voters. And this shift in favor of the recall seems to mirror a wider and larger shift toward the political right among Latino voters. Remember, in 2020, Trump increased his share of the national Hispanic vote to 35%. He killed it among Floridian Latinos, particularly Floridian Cubans, who gave him over 70% of their vote. Interesting, we've got studies that have found that evangelical Latinos are more likely to vote Republican and be pro-Trump than Catholic Latinos. And we're finding that Latino millennials are more conservative on the issue of abortion than previous generations. And so time will tell of Latinos if they become more and more nationalist, populist, conservative, and the like. But if the latest polls on Gavin Newsom's recall are any indicator, it certainly looks like Latinos are more and more coming back to their rightful political home. Now, before you go, make sure to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. Definitely click on that link below and check out some of our awesome merch. And you definitely want to check out my latest video. I just uploaded it on how the Biden press conference was widely viewed as a major disaster as his approval rating continues to fall. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.